The United States is in a very bad way in Afghanistan right now. Thousands of Americans stranded over there. And we have no easy way to get them out. In fact, we are dependent for their release on our own deadly enemies, the Taliban. Think of it, with a terrorist force that has now become, thanks to our weapons, the primary terrorist force in the world. We need their say-so to get our guys out. And here is Joe Biden basically admitting that. Listen.
The completion by August 31st depends upon the Taliban continuing to cooperate and allow access to the airport for those who we're transporting out, and no disruptions to our operations.
From the horse's mouth itself, there's Biden saying, listen, we can do it, but we can only do it if they let us do it. So think about the helpless situation that this man has put us, his country, and his countrymen in. So now the question is, why would Biden do it? And why would he do it this way? I advanced in the last segment the idea that a number of conservatives are putting out, and that is the idea that we didn't know how to win. That this is a combination of misunderstanding, of bungling, of ineptitude. But there's another theory that is worth considering, and that is that we, and by we here I mean the Biden administration, wanted to lose this way, wanted to humiliate America this way. Now this may seem like an outrageous thing to say, but why would they want to do that? Why would a president who is entrusted with protecting his country want to undermine his own country's interests? Well, it turns out that this is a question I examined in the case of Barack Obama, because in time after time, Barack Obama would do things very destructive to the United States. The Iran nuclear deal, the Bergdahl trade, the promise to the Russians, hey, listen, after the election, I can give you more stuff. I just can't do it now, but, yes, I will relay this message to Vladimir. So this is Obama, and people were like, why is he doing that? Why is he doing that? Why is he doing that? And my answer was, he wants to take America down. He subscribes to a theory, the anticolonial theory, which basically says that the United States, which has taken over from Europe and from the West in general, as the kind of evil superpower, is trying to rule the world, either directly or indirectly, but in the case of places like Afghanistan and Iraq, directly, by sending troops, by propping up governments in those countries. And the anti-colonial view is that you've got to get the imperialist power out. You've got to punish the imperialists. You've got to teach a lesson to the United States, such a lesson that this country will never dream of doing something like this again. We'll never dream of committing foreign troops. We'll never dream of trying to, you may say, govern another country. And so the Biden people, who are essentially recycled Obama types, could very well be carrying on the Obama mission. Now, it was, and I've cited this before in my podcast, it was Machiavelli who said a couple of hundred years ago, whenever you see an enemy that makes an obvious blunder, always suspect deception. Now, I've used this in the context of the Taliban. I said that the Taliban seem to be making a huge blunder. They're showing up at peace talks. They're basically winning the war. Why would someone winning the war want to show up for peace talks? Well, the answer is as a deflection to make the other side relax its guard. Then you can continue the war while those guys are drawing up peace agreements. So the Taliban was practicing deception. But let's put the question to Biden. Remember, we have another enemy. It's not just the Taliban. It's the Biden administration. They are our enemy here at home. So let's apply this logic to them. They've done a horrible blunder. What's the blunder? Well, they obviously can't get American troops out. They did things the upside down way. Instead of getting our material out first, instead of getting American citizens out first, instead of getting our Afghan allies out first, and then closing the Bagram base, they did it the opposite way. Close the Bagram base. Then you can't get American citizens out. Then you can't get the allies out. Then you can't get your equipment out. So the point is, this seems like a huge blunder. But whenever your enemy does a blunder, it's such an obvious blunder. It's so obvious, it's so easy to avoid, always suspect deception. And the deception that I suspect in this case is that they wanted to do it this way. They wanted Americans to feel that helpless feeling of, this is what happens, guys, when you try to commit troops abroad. This is what happens when you try to rule other countries, even radical Muslim countries. And so the idea here is to teach the superpower, us, a lesson from which that we will never forget. And for this reason, I think Biden is continuing the Obama strategy of delivering, not just at home, but also abroad, through foreign policy, mortal blows to his own country.